very.
What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Or crust and sugar over like syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode?
Welcome back, everyone. And today's video is on a book review of The Raisin and the Sun.
You know, the poem I just read may sound a little funny. However, it has a great meaning to the plot of this book.
In the beginning of the book, in Act 1, the story takes place in a friend's small and cramped apartment.
This family is the younger family. The family consists of Ruth, Walter, Mama, Benita, and Travis. Ruth and Walter are married, and Travis is their son. Benita is Walter's sister, and Mama is their mother.
However, there's big news in the household. Mama's insurance check is coming in.
That's some big news.
And everyone has different ideas on how to use it.
Walter would like to invest in a liquor company. Mama wants to buy a bigger, better house for the family so they can be comfortable. And Benita wants to pay for her education.
The check is starting to cause stress and tension between the family members.
Walter keeps receiving calls from his friends Willie and Bobo that the liquor store needs to happen now.
So basically, Walter has secret plans that he's keeping from his family on what to use the insurance check for.
It's not a good situation. Other important news is that Benita is now seeing a new man, and his name is Joseph Asagai.
Oh yeah, new man. In addition, Ruth goes to the doctor and finds out that she is pregnant.
Again.
Only 2 months in. She is nervous to tell Walter because they can hardly support the family now.
To finish up Act 1, Walter won't listen to Ruth when she tries to tell him about the pregnancy because Walter is still focused on the liquor store.
Also, Benita introduces Mama to Joseph Asagi, and she isn't exactly thrilled on the whole situation.
Another 51 seconds.
It's good. Okay. It's a good one. This one we have to make long, because I don't know how we're going to find a clip for this damn thing.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's 2 minutes.
Alright. That's our backup plan.
The setting in Act 2 is once again in the younger apartment. Ruth is ironing, Benita is in her room with the radio on.
A Nigerian song all of a sudden comes on, and Benita starts to dance and sing in her African cloak.
Walter then arrives home from a day of heavy drinking. He starts to shout and mock the music.
George, Benita's other man, two-timer,
2 men. Not good.
is just seeing her now dancing and looking pretty much weird, and is surprised.
However, he quickly starts to criticize Benita's outfit and asks her to change at once so they can go to the theater.
Walter then begins to criticize George's shoes, and both men get into an argument.
Everyone is surprised and shocked that Benita likes this type of guy and that she would let a man treat her like this. But George and Benita leave anyway.
After Benita and George come home from their date, she wants to talk about the future together and also about Asage.
George doesn't want to talk about it and claims it's stupid and wants nothing to do with each other's feelings and thoughts.
He also claims all she does is talk about her heritage and doesn't think that it's important.
Well, Benita then kicks George out and tells Mama he's a fool. Mama tells her not to waste her time with men.
The next day, Miss Johnson, the younger's neighbor, comes over to tell them about the black family bombed in the white neighborhood.
She then rudely assumes that they should be scared to move into a house they have waited so long to get into. She thinks they should not move there and is very concerned for their family.
Once Miss Johnson leaves, Walter's boss calls, and Ruth answers to only find out that her husband hasn't been to work in over 3 days.
Usually not a good idea. Walter is then complaining about his job and that he is treated almost like a slave and that all he does is work.
Mama then decides to give Walter the rest of the insurance money as a way to make him feel that he is still trusted and respected in this household.
Walter becomes happier and more energetic and tells his son Travis about the future he envisions. He envisions a big house, lots of cars, lots of money, and he wants to send Travis to college and so he can get a good education.
And now, it's moving day for the Younger family.
And everyone is excited. However, Mr. Linder is coming over. Mr. Linder is the representative of the neighborhood the family is looking to move into.
Mr. Linder addresses that the Younger family's presence in the Clybourne Park would destroy the community.
The association is prepared to rebuy the house with no matter how much it takes from the Younger family to prevent them from moving in.
From this comment, the Youngers become very upset and typically angry, and Walter firmly tells Mr. Linder that they will not accept this offer and makes him leave.
This displays Walter's pride for his family and that he will not let people push his family and control their decisions. Then Mama comes back home and is proud of Walter's decision to keep the home.
Bobo, one of Walter's friends that he was going to invest in the liquor store, arrives with some terrible news.
This is a tough part of the story. Well, basically, Bobo tells Walter that Willie, the other investor, ran off with all their money, and Walter is heartbroken by this news, and so is the family.
Like any other mom, this is some tough news to handle. She is completely furious and regrets trusting Walter with that money and begins to beat him.
Eventually, she becomes very weak and tired and upset about the whole situation, and she takes time, steps away from Walter, and starts to pray for strength.
Later on, the family starts to pack up their things and move out of their house.
Then Asagai shows up, and this is in Act 3. Asagai shows up and helps the family pack, and then he wants Benitha to come to him with Africa. Then Mama has some big news.
Mama decides to tell everyone that they are not moving into the house. Mr. Linder then is called to come over for this news.
When Mr. Linder arrives, his deal still stands, and while he is laying out contracts for Walter to sign, everyone begins arguing what Walter should do and this big decision he has to make.
Walter then states that his father worked his butt off getting this money, and that he wanted a better life for him and his family.
And the only way to get a better life would be use this insurance money to buy the house. Walter then makes the tough decision and finally decides they're not going to sell the house. They're not going to be pushed around, and they continue to pack up their stuff while poor Mr. Linder just stands there confused. What's going on?
Mama then addresses to the family that Walter has finally become a man and stepped up.
And the moving truck arrives. Family very, very quickly, because they want to get out of this house. Small apartment. Begins to load their belongings into the truck.
As a sign of leaving an old life and starting over,
Mama brings her plant to her new house show, and this plant helps symbolize their growth as a family and their life and starting over.
And hopefully they will find a better life in this new neighborhood.
And hopefully everything works out with the community. Alright guys, I want to thank you for coming to watch another one of our videos. This has been a book review of A Raisin in the Sun, what it was like in the past for African Americans.
And now, here is a clip from the actual movie, A Raisin in the Sun.
This clip consists of Walter becoming angry with his wife and that she's only telling him and caring about his eggs. Thank you guys once again for watching. We'll see you next time.
Atkins was a good-for-nothing loudmouth too, wasn't he? When he wanted me to go in the dry cleaning business with him. Now he's grossing $100,000 a year. $100,000 a year. Still call him a loudmouth good-for-nothing.
Oh, Walter.
Oh, Walter. You tired, ain't you, baby? You oh so tired of everything. Me, the boy, the way we live in this beat-up hole, everything. Moaning and groaning all the time, but you wouldn't do nothing to help, would you? I mean, you couldn't be on my side that long for nothing, girl.
Walter, please, leave me alone.
Man needs a woman to back him up here.
Walter.
And Mama would listen to you, and you know she listens to you more than you do me and Benny. She thinks more of you. Look, all you got to do is sit down with her one morning when you're having your coffee and talking about things like you do. Just say kind of easy like that you've been thinking about this little deal Walter Lee's so interested in about the store and all. Just keep sipping away at your coffee like what you're saying ain't that important to you. Before you know it, she's listening good and asking you questions. Then when I come home, I fill in the details.
Walter, please, leave me alone.
Baby, this ain't no fly-by-night operation. I mean, we got this thing figured out, me, Willie, and Bobo.
Bobo.
Yeah. Look, we figure the initial investment on the place to be about $30,000. That's $10,000 apiece. Now, of course, we gotta spread around a few hundred so as not to spend your life waiting for them clowns to let your license get approved.
You mean graft?
Don't call it that. Goes to show you how much women know about the world. Baby, don't nothing happen for you in this world unless somebody gets paid off.
Walter, leave me alone. Eat your eggs, you're gonna be cold.
See? The man say to his woman, I got me a dream. She says, eat your eggs, they getting cold. Man say to his woman, help me now to take a hole in this world somehow, and she says, eat your eggs and go to work. I tell you, I gotta change my life because I'm choking to death, and all you say to me is eat these eggs.
Walter, that ain't none of our money, and I ain't gonna be harassing your mama about it.
I'm looking in the mirror this morning and I'm thinking I'm 35 years old. I'm married 11 years and I got a boy who's got to sleep in the living room because I got nothing, eh? Nothing to give him but stories. Like on how rich white people live, eh?
Eat your eggs, Walter.
Damn these eggs. Damn all the eggs that ever was.
And go to work.
I'm trying to talk to you about me. Now all you're gonna say to me is eat these eggs?
You never say nothing new. I listen to you every day, every morning, every night. You never say nothing new. So you'd rather be Mr. Arnold than be his chauffeur. So I'd rather be living in Buckingham Palace.
And that's just what's wrong with the colored woman in this world today. You don't understand about building your men up, making them feel like they're somebody, like they can do something.
There are colored men who do things.
No thanks to the colored woman.
Being a colored woman, I guess I can't help myself now.